She's dead. Wrapped in plastic.
Welcome to the Twin Peaks podcast.
Damn good coffee. And hot. Would everyone please take a seat?
Okay, welcome everyone to the Twin Peaks podcast. I'm Matt.
I'm Melanie.
I'm Brad.
I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Jeromy.
Hello, Jeromy.
Yay!
Welcome. Yay!
Thank you.
So, we're here today to talk about Psych, which isn't Twin Peaks. Oh my god. But they did a Twin Peaks episode, Twin Peaks inspired episode called Dual Spires. And this is actually the last Twin Peaks related thing we're going to do, even though it's, just tangentially related. But, I'm actually kind of happy about that because in the retrospective episode, I found it very hard to not just say things we had said a million times already.
Yeah.
It'll be good to talk about something new. So we're going to go on to the movies after this. But Jeromy, do you want to tell us a little bit about how you got into Twin Peaks, maybe?
No, just a big David Lynch fan, back from when you couldn't watch TV shows on the internet or rent them on DVD. So I just always thought that I kind of missed out on Twin Peaks. But then they released those VHS box sets back in the day, and I was able to track that down and watch it and just sort of fell in love with it. And I knew I would because I was such a huge David Lynch fan, and just kind of went from there.
Cool.
I don't want to repeat myself too much because I think you guys have already said just about everything I could possibly think of. But no, and then I heard about them doing this Dual Spires episode of Psych, and I'd never heard of Psych, and I'd seen little, promos and stuff for it. And then I went ahead and set my DVR to record it. I watched it. I'm like, this show's really bad. And but I enjoyed the episode. It was cool seeing everybody. And then, Michael Warren, after I told him how much I hated this, he wrote up a nice little piece that made me hate it slightly less. And then I rewatched it. I'm like, no, it's still bad.
Okay. Caitlin, what do you have to say about that?
I acknowledge not all Psych is the best quality, but I just like it because it's so off the wall. And they just throw in so many references, obscure a lot of the time, to different TV shows that's just part of the pleasure to watching it.
Very obscure. Brad, do you have any experience with Psych at all?
I think I've seen a few random episodes here or there. It's pleasant. It's like Gilmore Girls if you don't want to have to think very hard.
That's what I was thinking. It was like, it's exactly that same kind of pacing as Gilmore Girls. It's like that same kind of, they try too hard to be witty all the time and too fast-paced, Yeah.
Like, it's totally not a real conversation that anyone would have.
No.
Which is fine.
But it's really weird because, multiple shows use this style, like Psych and another show that Caitlin suggested for us, Better Off Ted.
I love that show.
Yeah? Okay, so I thought that show was pretty good, yeah. And also Arrested Development is the same kind of thing. Yeah.
But good at it?
Yeah, what makes a show good at it?
The thing is that I feel for this, like Psych, I feel that it's not natural. It's it's too, like zinger, over and over again, It's too fast. And it just doesn't...
Like when somebody says something, it's like, hey, look, this guy just said something funny.
Yeah.
And everyone's pretty much written the same as far as the style of jokes go.
Yes, yeah. Everyone has each character has the exact same sense of humor.
Right.
All right, well, I'm going to spring something on Caitlin now. Since you're the resident Psych expert, you're going to take us through this episode.
Oh.
You're the boss today.
Wow.
That's just feeling lazy.
Well, I don't have a good reference, so I don't like. This is the only thing me and Mel have ever seen of Psych.
So you didn't watch any other episodes at all?
No.
I'm probably not going to be nearly as good as you at this, so...
Well, all I ever did was mention the first thing that happens in a scene, and then we all discuss the entire scene.
But you do it so well.
I find that works a little bit better than other podcasts where they describe every single thing that happens in the scene. I like to just describe the opening part of the scene, and then we have a discussion about the whole thing. But
I gotcha. It works.
That's how I do it.
Jumping into this episode, we start out in the Psych office, where Sean and Gus, or Guster Burton, as he's an awesome name, are working. And it jumps right into the Twin Peaks references there, hey?
Immediately, yeah. But can I ask about this Psych office? Like, can you explain these two characters to us?
Okay. So, Sean and Gus have been friends since they were little boys.
Okay.
And Sean has never had a real job. He's always just been jumping from job to job his whole life. He's not really supposed to be a responsible sort of person. And Gus is supposed to be a little more down to earth than Sean. And so, growing up, Sean had this really remarkable ability. Like, his powers of observation and memory were really good. That's something his dad, as a police officer, kind of helped him hone.
Oh, okay. So is this a supernatural power?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. Because the way it like zooms in on stuff and the way
It's kind of like The Mentalist or Lie to Me and stuff like that.
Okay.
I just kept having Batman flashbacks when he would do that zoom in thing, you know?
So Sean, he's just a really keen observer. And in the very first episode of Psych, he decides that he will pretend he's a psychic so that he can help the Santa Barbara police solve crimes.
So why does he need to pretend to be a psychic, though? Why can't he just say, hey, I'm really good at observing things?
Because that's the premise of the show.
Yeah, seriously, no one wants just a civilian helping, but if he's a psychic in some weird way, that gives him a little bit more credibility.
Okay. Alright.
Oh.
So he lies to people.
All the time. Everything that comes out of his mouth is like some gross exaggeration.
Alright. Excuse me.
You need to quit smoking, Matt.
Never. Okay, yeah, so like you said, it jumps right into the references. We get in my notes, I have a star beside anything that's a reference, and a dash besides anything that isn't.
Wow.
It's about
Wow, man.
It's about 80% stars.
Yeah. They kind of went way over the top of this episode.
Yeah. So when you first watched it, were you just like completely confused?
Yeah, like I kind of knew it was a reference to like another TV show, but like the whole show I was guessing what was a reference and what wasn't.
Oh, you
But I
saw this
honestly
before? You'd seen Twin Peaks?
Yes.
Oh, wow, okay.
Because I'm a fan of Psych, so I've been
Right.
watching it since the beginning pretty much.
I probably shouldn't have insulted Psych as hard as I did. I'm sorry,
It's
Caleb.
okay. I know it's not a high quality show, but I still find it hilarious.
I'm sure we all like, certain bad television.
Probably.
We all have our guilty pleasures.
Exactly.
No one admit to anything. Um,
Not me.
Quality all the way.
Absolutely.
So yeah, like you said, we get references. I got Chocolate Bunny immediately.
Silent Drape Runners.
Yep.
Right.
Underthenail.com.
Yeah. that one was pretty pervasive through the whole episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I stopped taking notes, because I realized, there's not enough time to write all these things down.
Right.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
You gave up right away.
I was like, oh, alright, in the first 10 seconds we've got chocolate bunnies and drape runners. Alright.
Yeah, there's nothing subtle about what they're doing here.
I think this episode was written by the actor who plays Sean.
Yeah, and he's a huge Twin Peaks fan, right?
Yeah.
And he's like a producer or something. It's just why he could do this episode, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
So Gus gets an email about this cinnamon festival from a newspaper called The Great Northern. It seemed really, really random. Usually, when they, yeah.
Question: Have they established a particular love of cinnamon before this, or is this just wild?
Not that I can remember. It's pretty much just random.
Oh, done. Done.
Well, do
Destroys
they
the credibility.
Well,
Yeah.
do they have like a love of food in general usually?
Yes, that's it. Exactly what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay.
Okay, has anybody ever heard of a cinnamon pie?
No, but I want to try one.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cinnamon is not a main ingredient, so how do you sort of have a cinnamon anything?
Imagine
It's like
a
a
really good apple pie without the apple.
No, I figured it was like a sugar pie or something. You know, like sugar pie with like cinnamon in it.
I don't know what the hell that is either. What's a sugar pie?
It's like
It's like a bunch of sugar in the middle of a pie?
Yeah. It's like I don't know. It's hard to describe.
I was imagining in my mind a pumpkin pie with like extra cinnamon.
Well, then that would be a pumpkin pie.
Yeah, I know.
I think sugar pie is a pecan pie without the pecans.
Maybe
That's what it is.
Isn't it a chess pie?
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe you could make some sort of cream-based filling that's like mainly
Yeah, some
All right.
eggy and cinnamon thing.
yeah.
I'm gonna Google it.
Yes,
I'm confused.
I'd like to try
I
it.
am
Though.
too.
Sound good.
Ignore me. I'm doing
Maybe
research over
chess
here.
pie in French is sugar pie.
Maybe.
Maybe that's
so,
why I'm confused.
So, Dual Spires, is this in California? I thought they
Probably.
they said it was in California they were going to.
They don't usually ever leave California except for once they went to Canada.
Oh.
Yeah, they mentioned that it was a small town newspaper in California. So
Yeah.
yeah, they decided to go follow this random email simply because they love food so much, and it.
That's a random reason.
Usually they get their cases through the police department or someone who comes in looking for their help.
Oh, okay.
So I think this kind of falls in sort of with the mood of Twin Peaks and how, you know, it's kind of just things aren't very straightforward. It kind of hints here and there.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but I wanted to tell you guys about this. I did a Google search for cinnamon pie, and I went ahead and clicked on the first link, which was from, I think, allrecipes.com. And the first comment is, I did a search for cinnamon pie after watching the Dual Spires episode of Psych.
Wow.
Yeah. And Mel, you're basically right. It looks like it's just a bunch of sugar with cinnamon and yada, 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 so.
Yeah. Resident pie expert. Except I didn't know what a chess pie was, I'm sorry.
I like how they have to get to this place. They have to actually walk through the woods. There's no roads to the outside world.
Really not. They probably just wanted to walk in front of the sign that said Dual Spires population.
Yeah.
Because without that, you don't have a show.
Exactly. So yeah, after the office, they just go right to Dual Spires, and they're immediately immersed in this weird community. What sort of weird things did you guys notice about it?
Well, the music came up right away. The faux Angelo Badalamenti music.
Yeah.
Ah, yes. So at the beginning of every Psych episode, they have the theme, and they will play the same theme song every time. But depending on what the episode is, they'll often change it, and so.
Oh.
I was gonna ask you about that actually, if they had like varying theme songs every episode.
It's the same song, they just change the style.
That's cool.
And that actually was Julie Cruz singing, so that's neat.
Yeah.
So we're introduced to some Twin Peaks actors here, huh? We got Bobby as Robert Parker, which is still Bobby, I guess. Lana as Michelle, who his nickname for her is Shelley.
Right. She still looks great.
She does.
least-
She
at
might be
least-
a witch.
Well, we've established this, yes.
I mean, she looks the exact same. It's crazy.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, how the fuck did Harold Smith get the lead in this? That's the worst idea ever.
He's so much of a better sheriff, though.
What's with the voice that he's doing? It's like it almost kind of comes off like he's trying to do a southern accent, but it's not.
I don't know.
I don't either.
But he's another sheriff named after a president. This time it's Sheriff Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson.
That's pretty on the head there.
And we get the secret look between him and Michelle there, Lana, implying the secret relationship.
That I didn't notice.
Oh, no.
I'm sure it's there.
They looked at each other, kind of like
There was so
how
much-
Ed and Norma did.
There was way too much being thrown at me this episode. I kept missing stuff all the time.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah, I
dense.
don't think I got all of it.
I think I would have actually probably liked it better if it wasn't just being hit over the head with Twin Peaks references. That almost seemed like too much.
Well, they did actually make a reference that they were going at it too much at one point. I forget what they said exactly, but yeah, they were like, oh, when the log lady came out. And then she was talking
yeah.
to, they thought she was talking to her log, but she was talking to the kid, and they were like, oh yeah, that would have been too much.
It already was too much.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of seeing the actor who plays Bobby all these years later, how he looks now?
Handsome dude.
Handsome fella.
Yeah.
Well,
Not bad.
The gray looks good on him.
The gray suits him?
Yeah, he
Totally.
looks like a completely different person, though, sort of. You can still tell it's him, but I don't know.
Yeah, let's get a different look now.
Yeah.
I've seen him in a lot. He seems to pop up every few years in something. So I recognized him pretty quick.
All right, so yeah, what happens now, Caitlin?
Where there's a big town meeting. Basically, there's I don't know what I should point out here and what I shouldn't point out.
Whatever you like.
Okay, so Gus distracted by the monkey bread.
What is monkey bread? What is monkey bread?
You've never heard of monkey bread?
Never heard of monkey bread.
That I am familiar with.
It's like bread that you can pull apart or whatever, I think, isn't it?
And it's horribly sugary, cinnamony, like syrup. It's just like coated with this cinnamon sugar syrup type shit, and it's makes your teeth hurt just looking at it.
Oh, all right.
that's what I thought as well, but it looked like he was just holding a loaf of bread.
Yeah, it just looks like a loaf of bread. It doesn't...
Oh, no. I think they used the term monkey bread just because it suited the show, but didn't bother to get actual monkey bread for the show. Because being from the Midwest, I know monkey bread, and that wasn't it.
I remember when you were on Bagged and Boarded talking about Twin Peaks, you mentioned a sandwich. What's that sandwich?
Oh, yeah, the horseshoe.
Yeah, tell Brad and Caitlin about the horseshoe sandwich.
Oh, it was something that was created here in Springfield. I want to say 20s, 30s maybe. But basically the gist of it is it's like a piece of toasted or grilled bread, and then you put whatever meat on top of that you want, but it's typically a hamburger patty, and then you dump a bunch of fries on it, and then you cover the whole thing with cheese sauce. And it's fucking delicious.
I'd try it.
And then you probably die.
But no, it's one of those weird things that started here in Springfield, and you can get one at any restaurant in Springfield, but the second you leave the city limits, you say you want a horseshoe, people look at you funny.
That's funny.
But it's a tasty sandwich.
Interesting.
You can even really call it a sandwich, because you got a knife and fork it. If you got to use a knife and fork, then it's not a sandwich, right?
Open face sandwich.
Oh, that's true. Okay.
So back to this meeting. What references did we get here?
This is where we get Leo the cinnamon owl, don't we?
Yes.
Boy. Who's carving cinnamon, and how does that work?
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, what did they do? Did they, glue the cinnamon together somehow?
It's probably cinnamon pie filling.
Oh, maybe.
I don't know. And
but then it would be all gelatiny, and it looked really solid.
Dried it in the sun. I don't know. Mayor Douglas Fir. Decrepit old man. He introduces his friend as Lodge Blackman.
I missed that.
That's way over the top, but...
I didn't catch that the first time. That's funny, though.
Does he usually give Gus a fake identity when he goes to places?
Yes, he always gives him some ridiculous name.
Why?
That's just his character, he's just really weird.
Oh, it's just to piss off Gus?
Kind of, yeah.
It's not a race thing?
No. Sometimes he'll give Gus a name he likes, and sometimes not. Mostly not.
Oh, that was actually a really funny line, I thought, when they were talking about how he's the only black man they've ever seen, and then the little girl comes up, "Are you Frederick Douglass?"
Terrible.
It wasn't that actor was at Dooley Hill. Wasn't he on? Was it The West Wing?
Yep.
Okay.
They declare the Cinnamon King. Is that also sort of a Twin Peaks reference, having the prom queen, Cinnamon King?
Oh yeah, I never thought of that. I was trying to see how this was connected to Twin Peaks. The Cinnamon King. I was like, there's never a pie king or anything in Twin Peaks.
There was Miss Twin Peaks though.
Yeah, it's true.
Is there okay? Oh, Randy Jackson. Why is there a reason why he was called Randy Jackson that I'm just not catching up?
So they could have a line later on that said, "Was Randy Jackson with you the night Paula died?"
Oh, you think that was it? Okay,
I think so.
It just seems so misplaced. They were trying so hard to cram as much Twin Peaks shit in as possible, and then such an obvious joke from elsewhere,
Mm-hmm. They also have Bob Barker.
That one I missed that one.
Yeah. In this case, it seems that Randy is like the favored person of Dual Spires, the one that everyone loves.
He's the only one with a leather jacket, that's why. He's the lone jock in the whole town.
He's the only person in school in the whole town.
Pretty much.
Their football games are really strange.
Keep running! Another goal!
Her boyfriend Jack comes up and on his bike with his camera. I'm trying to figure out who he's a reference to. Is he...
He seems like the Harold Smith.
But he also seems like the James. What?
Yeah, I think he's more the James.
That's true. Just like his weird sort of idiosyncrasies sort of make him seem kind of Harold Smithish, but I'm sure he's probably supposed to be James.
I think you're right, though. I think he's half James, half Harold Smith, because, yeah, he does live in that, like, cave.
Yeah, does anybody watch Fringe?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because the actors from that show.
Oh.
At least I've never seen him for anything else. I thought he was like related to Joss Whedon at some point, just because he looks and talks so much like him, but I don't think that he is.
So Sean, with his super observational skills, starts to notice that something's wrong. This is what he does in all the episodes. Sort of spots what is out of ordinary. Yeah. Besides that, the body's discovered of Paula.
I thought this was pretty cool. How Laura Palmer gets to uncover the dead body.
It was neat to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they set it up pretty much the same as Twin Peaks, discovering the body near the water, except they're like how she was found was like half naked, and so they thought someone decided to wrap her in plastic themselves.
Yeah. Did we ever figure out why she was naked?
That is
I
a
remember.
good question.
She just liked to be naked. That's all it really was.
Creepo sheriff.
You just gave away the ending.
Oh no. I forgot we were doing a commentary track.
No one cares. It's Psych.
Who did you guys guess was the killer, or did you even try to guess?
Yeah.
I thought it was Leland the whole time.
I thought it was gonna be her father, just like
Just like Twin Peaks.
just like
That would have made sense, yeah. Hey, Caitlin, is Ray Wise in this show more than this episode?
He was in one other episode previously.
oh cool.
Oh, okay, because
It's the same-
it made it sound like he wasn't someone just for this episode. Because they call him and talk to him at some point,
Yeah.
and he seemed pretty familiar with the guys, so...
Yeah, they had solved a previous case with him before, so he's like a friend of theirs, I suppose.
Well, that's pretty neat, the way they were kind of able to pull that back and keep like the root of the show there, but also kind of build into the Twin Peaks episode.
Yeah. But
You know what else is interesting?
What?
In Twin Peaks, he had molested his daughter, but in Psych, he's playing a Catholic priest. Because they molest children.
Womp womp.
And all of them molest children. All of them.
It could be a statement. I don't know.
Most of them just hide child molesters.
But he may be a priest, but I really liked how he was like, a few times he would psych them out. He'd be like, oh, it was just faith, or oh, it was a miracle. And then he'd be like, no, it was really this practical thing that I did.
Right. I love Ray Wise. He's
Yeah.
great and everything. I just rewatched Jeepers Creepers 2. It's amazing.
We haven't talked about Deputy Frost,
Yes. I love that.
who's our Hawk analog, who we see go about doing all the work. Who's
Right.
driving that rickshaw.
And his last name's Frost.
Yeah. He actually, yeah, I love that. You think that's a commentary on what we noticed about Hawk?
I'm gonna pretend it is.
Yeah.
I think
I don't mean that they listened to us, because this was made before this, but I mean they noticed the same thing we noticed. I mean,
Hopefully.
and they just
No, you're right the first time. You're inspired just by this show.
yes, time travel.
Yes.
But
So
yeah,
what were you guys thinking this far about the lack of like modern technology in Dual Spires? No cars.
I thought it was a good way to keep it, in the Twin Peaks vibe, by not having any current technology. Well, I guess we did have a cell phone a lot, but
Not by anybody that lived in Dual Spires, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they just had the main guy, what's his face?
Right.
Yeah. He had
what's his face?
what's his face? He had the cell phone. It was kind of comical how it only worked in 1 square foot beside a tree.
That was funny.
Oh, there's a white horse in the credits, I forgot to mention.
That's nice.
Nice touch.
Yeah. Then we kind of move over to where are we at when it shows all the donuts? Like,
It's the Santa Barbara Police Department.
okay.
So this is who Sean and Gus work with all their cases.
Oh.
Yeah, so they got another clue of letters and numbers.
Does the guy always slick his hair over like that, or is that just for this episode as an homage to Cooper?
The Detective Lassiter,
Yeah.
that's how he looks.
Oh.
Yeah. He's very sort of supposed to be a straight-laced cop,
Ah.
except that he's has very violent tendencies as well.
No.
Anger issues. Yeah, so if you want a little bit of background about these characters, Detective Lassiter has really been against using Sean as a psychic detective for pretty much all of their cases. He doesn't like him at all. But he's warmed up to him over the years, I guess, a little bit. Even though he still, harasses him always.
And I take it he's in a new relationship with the lady. It seemed like they just got together or something.
And they don't want anybody else to know.
Detective Lassiter with who?
No. With Sean.
Sean.
Oh, Juliet. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. They're just started dating recently. I think
Why don't they want anybody to know about it?
because it would really affect, I guess, their working relationship.
And why is
Gotcha.
why is he lying to her about being a psychic too?
Because when she met him, he was already being a psychic. So she didn't know at the beginning, and I guess the only people who know are Gus and Sean's father,
Oh.
who you also see there at the police station.
Oh, I didn't notice him.
He's the bald guy. I don't know if they introduced that. And I guess it's just really important to Sean that, she thinks well of him, and I guess if she thought that he was lying, then she wouldn't think so highly of him anymore.
So I like
It's a
how
terrible way to build a relationship.
It's
true.
It's awful.
I love passing moral judgments on a comedy show.
Okay, so we see that the doctor in this town does everything. Dr.
Just like Laura Palmer did.
It's true. Good point.
Well, yes. And Doc, I forgot the doctor's name. Hayward. Oh my god.
Getting rusty.
Getting rusty.
And wasn't her name Donna?
Oh, was it?
Yeah. Donna Gooden?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that. We get the Mina bird too.
Oh, yeah, that's there too.
Okay, so that creepy moaning sound that what's his face was making, I thought that was coming out of the bird. I was like, oh, that's just creepy.
Yeah.
There's also coconuts in the doctor's office.
Oh, I didn't notice.
I also enjoyed how she spread the lube on her gloves so nonchalantly.
She was all ready to
like,
go
all
up his
ready.
ass for his stomach.
You're just so weird.
Yeah.
What part of upset stomach requires that?
Same thing I was going to say.
Maybe she can tell he was faking and was trying to scare him.
More than likely.
Too much cinnamon. Gonna have to go in.
Take it out.
The only way.
We've got a cinnamon owl up here.
That's how they form in the gut.
Ew.
Oh, you got a cinnamon blockage up there. You better take care of that before it turns into an owl. It's nocturnal. It'll fly right out of your ass in the middle of the night.
I like where we're going here. Let's just stay with this.
It's coming out of the doctor's office. They see Randy riding by on his bike, and what do? Naturally, they jump on a two-person bike and fall.
Yeah.
Man, I love tandem.
As you do.
Yeah. That's how things are done.
Who doesn't love a good tandem bike, though? Who doesn't?
Have you guys actually ridden a tandem bike before?
No, but I would love to.
Is it really hard?
It seems like something you guys have already done and do regularly.
Yes. That's how we.
That's how we roll.
Yeah. Badooch.
That's not how I meant it.
That's really funny though. You should have meant it that way.
I know.
And then they go up and see Randy Jackson's room, and we got the fan shot, the obligatory fan shot.
Of course.
I'm a big fan of the overdramatic sulking here, though.
Yeah.
Cradling the special lover earring.
That is the lamest, though. Seriously.
Yeah.
Who the hell does that?
Special lover earrings.
Yeah. Secret special lover earrings.
Let's get matching earrings.
You guys should get matching earrings and a tandem bicycle.
Yeah.
Get a picture taken.
No.
And then post a lot of pictures to Facebook of that.
We'll go to Sears, get a picture.
Awesome. I like that idea a lot. He was joking, but you probably really should go ahead and do it.
So, next scene we have is at the library, which I think is the best scene by far.
Yeah?
Definitely.
Yes.
Just
Someone else who's
Do
aging
you know
well.
why?
Why?
Why? Because it's Audrey. She plays the sexy librarian, which is really funny.
So this was everybody's favorite cameo?
I think for me, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
This and Ray Wise.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I guess Ray Wise doesn't necessarily count because he's been on the show before.
But wasn't he was only on one other episode from what I read, I think. And it was
Just one other episode.
It was
Yeah,
it was like many seasons before, too, wasn't it?
I think the previous season. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was like season 1 or 2.
Yeah, it was from just the year prior. I just looked it up after we talked about it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they definitely brought him back for a reason. But I mean, he was already sort of a part of the show prior.
Yeah.
So I don't entirely consider it a cameo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. I don't agree. I think you're wrong.
Oh. Well,
You remember back before this podcast was so divisive? Everything's changed now.
I ruined it all. The jump the shark moment is when you had me as a guest. Just wait. Wait till the episode comes out.
I love that she's drinking the cherry coke.
Mm-hmm. And her name is what? Maudette Hornsby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The horn, yeah, obvious.
It's stretched so thin at this point in the show that everything is literally moments from just snapping asunder.
And then it snaps
Agreed.
when they look at that book by Earl Wyndham.
Yeah.
If it had only been a horse on the cover. Can we just stop in the fact that I too find the Dewey Decimal System somewhat terrifying, and the idea of using a card catalog puts me in a complete panic attack in this day and age. I mean, we used to use those things. You had to go through the cards.
I remember.
There was no choice. There was no other choice.
Oh my god.
I never fully understood how the Dewey Decimal System worked.
It's not too complicated, I don't think.
I don't think it is either. I mean, it must have been adapted for some reason. I just never realized why that was a better idea than genre and author, a la bookstore. You know?
Yeah. Has it been completely phased out in real life?
No, it's still, you can just use a computer now to look anything up.
But I mean,
But it's still in there. I think all the numbers and the Dewey Decimals all still in play.
Yeah, even though everything's like on the computers, it still uses the Dewey Decimal System.
When was the last time any of you were in a library?
I've been in many times with Mel, but I never take anything out myself.
Yeah, Mag.
Well, Mel knows. They still use Dewey Decimal?
Yeah, well, as far as I know, yeah, but it's...
Really? Huh.
Well, I don't know, but you can do, like, if you're looking up a book on the library site, you can kind of just, like, type in the author's name or whatever, so it's not really like you have to go through a card catalog or whatever.
And it just gives you the...
You just use a search system.
Exactly.
And then it gives you the specific number and you go right to it.
Yeah. No, you
Gotcha.
don't need your numbers, you just need... Well, I guess you could use an ISBN number if you had it, but...
I mean, I'm fine with the number. I'm fine with the Dewey Decimal System in theory, though no one actually uses it. But it's those damn cards! The card catalog itself.
You don't
It's
like
the little drawers, it's the filing through.
You don't like
There's the
index?
assholes that move things around.
Right.
That's true. You don't like index cards?
I love index cards.
What about
Same here.
What about recipe cards?
Oh, that's ridiculous. What are you writing recipes for?
You should remember them.
I'm sending everybody a recipe for horseshoes and cinnamon pie after the show.
Sweet.
I'll put it on a card.
So something about Paula drowning 7 years ago. What's that all about?
They do explain it later.
Yeah.
Apparently this girl has already died. What did you guys think at this point?
I was like, oh, this is getting Twin Peaks convoluted.
Yes.
They really twist it a lot. Did you think it was supernatural, or that she just faked her death?
I thought it could be because I had no reference of what's possible in the show. I didn't know. Is there ever supernatural things in the show?
I think sometimes there might be an episode where it gets really close, but there's never actually anything supernatural. They always prove it otherwise.
Oh, okay.
The last episode that Ray Wise was in was about exorcisms and being possessed.
And the person probably just had a mental disorder?
I don't remember. I think they were actually faking it, or was drugged. And they also happened to be double jointed.
Oh. How convenient.
Did Ray Wise play the same type of thing where he kept referencing supernatural things and then pulling out practical things?
Yeah, his character is pretty much consistent.
Why is that man a priest?
I don't know, but if I went to church, I would want him to be my priest.
Anyways, then we move on to we go back to the diner, don't we?
Yeah, we have the old man.
That's one of my favorite parts.
What the hell is he doing?
Obviously a reference to the old waiter with his thumbs up.
Right.
But he doesn't really look like he knows what he's doing. He is trying to make a connection with them, but he's just doing random shit.
Is he Mark?
You see, at this point, you have to realize that Sean is definitely a better detective than Dale Cooper.
Yes.
Because
please.
he's not spending all of his time wondering what the old man means with his wacky hand gestures. He's getting shit solved in a day.
He just ignores the old man.
Yeah, it took Dale Cooper 2 weeks to find out who killed Laura Palmer. Sean wrapped this shit up in a few hours. I'll still take a Dale Cooper over a Sean any day.
What happens now? They go back over to Bobby and Shelley's place.
Because they remembered that he was chewing sunflower seeds, which was found near the body, or where the girl disappeared the first time she died.
So it must be related.
Because sunflower seeds are so rare.
Start somewhere.
We got a random moose head, like the random deer head that was on that table one time in Twin Peaks. Michelle has a sister named Lucy.
Yeah.
And
Here's where things start getting complicated.
Hey, speaking of Lucy, when you guys had her on the show, she was really pissed that they didn't ask her to be on this.
she was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a really fun listen. I mean, I feel for it. I'm sure, because I keep hearing they're going to do another one of these. I would imagine that they'll probably ask her by that point.
Why wouldn't they have asked her? You'd think they would have asked everybody.
Yeah, it seems like they would have thrown out an invitation to everybody and then wrote the script based on those who said yes.
Yeah.
So why certain people were left off, I have no idea. Maybe, because the dude that plays Sean, I guess, as it wrote the episode and as a producer, he intended on doing more than one.
Maybe. Or maybe she's been blacklisted for some reason.
That can't possibly be it.
Okay, so now they go up and they find the secret diary and the teddy bear.
What was the teddy bear with the news? Is that a reference to something?
I don't think so.
I think it's just supposed to show that Paula's dark and twisted, or something like that.
All the girls gotta have their diaries, of course. And they go through the same thing where they have the letter J, also from Twin Peaks.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Caitlin's supposed to be doing this. Go ahead, Caitlin.
Yeah. And so this is where they find the Latin in her diary, and you get the priest character. So,
Leland. Yay.
Yeah, Leland, Ray Wise. Okay. And they tried... What?
Sorry, I didn't notice. In the first scene when he's on the phone, is his hair white?
No.
Yes.
No.
No?
Yes, no?
No. I don't know. Okay.
Oh.
I'm looking at it now.
Okay.
Alright, go ahead, sorry.
Not white. Oh, okay, that's a good one. I didn't catch that one. So he's translating the Latin for the boys, and then they cut him off before he can finish.
So what's the backstory with that? Do they both go to his church and Sean always tries to find a way out or something?
No, I think they just came across him in that one episode before. And Gus is more religious, I think, than Sean. I don't really remember that part of the plot too well.
But it sounds like Gus is actually going to this man's church, like on a regular basis.
Yeah, I don't remember that part too well. Maybe someone who's listening can tell us a little bit more about that.
And then they go to Jack Smith. No, then they go back to see Audrey.
Yes, back to the library.
Maudette. That's a really weird name, by the way.
So they look for the Dual Spires yearbook there.
Oh, yeah.
Her glasses are killing me, by the way.
Don't like them?
I don't like them. Just take those off.
You'll look much better.
It's really, it really distracts me. I'm like, I don't know. It makes her look older. And she still looks really good.
Well, I think they're like 50s type glasses, so they're one of those things. Oh, they mention going to Betty Boop night at the Roadhouse, so there's another reference. Then they go see Jack Smith.
So they find out his terrible secrets. Such an awful secret. I don't really understand why he feels the need to hide that he's like practically blind.
Yeah, or why that was a thing at all. Just maybe that was it just so they could get the comedy bits of him flashing people in the face.
Probably.
Because that's not in no way Twin Peaks related. Oh no, wait, he puts on an eye patch later.
Oh yeah.
So I guess that's what that's for.
Really, really stretching for it.
Yeah.
So they kind of establish a bit more of the timeline with Jack.
Yeah, this is where I was wondering if he's supposed to be James or Harold or even Bobby, because he said he was her girl or her boyfriend, and then she started going out with the jock, which is kind of like, you know, Laura went out with Bobby and then started going out with James. So I don't know.
Well, it doesn't have to directly overlay. It's close enough.
You would expect it to with all these other references.
I know, it doesn't derive far.
Yeah.
Okay, at this point they realize they're developing his photos because he got knocked out the night that she was killed, and they realize they've got a picture of Randy Jackson just right there.
I really don't understand why this guy took up photography as a hobby.
Well, he didn't know, he wasn't always blind.
I know, but why would you keep going? You can't even look at your own pictures.
He's got his dignity to maintain.
Yeah, I guess so. He's just pretending.
So they realize Randy may be up to no good. And then they're like, oh no, it's Jules.
At this point, we're 3/4 of the way through the episode, by the way.
Yeah.
This is the most dense plot.
Yeah, I think that's probably a reference to how, you know, dense the Twin Peaks plots are, like particularly the...
Or is it? Is the show usually like this, Caitlin?
Oh yeah, could be.
No, it's not usually.
Okay.
I mean, because this show is kind of a procedural, isn't it? Like one case per episode?
Yeah. Sometimes there is a longer storyline that will run through several episodes or through a whole season. But mainly it's just, one case per episode.
Gotcha. And shows like that, you always get a ton of shit thrown at you in a relatively short amount of time.
This is nothing compared to the mill plot. Twin
Right.
Peaks.
I stand by the mill plot is not that complicated.
Okay. So why is Randy being a creep here? Like, if he's not...
Because he is.
If he's not the killer...
I remember thinking at this point that I thought Randy was the killer just because he was so creepy, and that his whole motive was just to use a creepy woman killer.
Well, they're going over the top with making him seem like a violent person.
But they did it on Twin Peaks too, didn't they?
Too?
Well, Leo was portrayed that way. He kind of did it to himself.
Yeah, but I never suspected Leo because he was too obvious.
Right, same here.
But this
Harold, maybe not the violent tendencies, but like anytime they would try to make somebody seem like overly strange, I always felt that like they were trying to make us think that they had more to do with it.
So, is something about the whole town gets together to watch Everwood? What? I've never even heard of Everwood.
Oh, it's
Good for you.
Yeah. I've never actually seen it myself, but it's takes place in Colorado, and it's like a small mountain town.
Is it an old show?
No, not too old. Early 2000s, I think.
Here we go. Everwood is an American drama television series that initially aired in the United States on the WB. This series, set in the fictional small town of Everwood, Colorado, was filmed in a lot of terrible places, blah, blah, blah. It's primarily a serious drama with some comedic moments.
Hey, among those terrible places, are you saying they're terrible because they're near where I live, Brad? Canmore, Alberta, Calgary.
No, I was seeing filmed in Ogden, South Salt Lake, and Draper, Utah.
And a little bit
wrote a-
more north.
I wrote a play that was set in Utah, and I've researched some of these places, and they just sound terrible.
Utah is a really weird state. Like,
Good salt, though.
Come for the salt. Stay for... Just go on.
So now they suspect Maudette.
with good reason. She's being pretty secretive.
I suspect her too of being sexy.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, you did.
I almost said it for you.
I was just deciding how filthy I wanted the punchline to be on that one. I kept it pretty clean.
Yeah, so Maudette's real secret and Randy's real secret.
Oh, yeah.
A little creepy.
So is she also a mother figure, they said to him?
Yes.
She halfway raised him?
Halfway raised him. No, all the way raised him.
Definitely all the way raised.
Oh yeah, that's gross.
She was also with his father.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
This is some real Twin Peaks shit here.
Yeah,
Totally.
yeah. Well, I guess they didn't mind sharing. What? Sorry.
I was just gonna say, unfortunately, they couldn't get no more out of Maudette because she's dead.
So then they get trapped in the... They find out that she sent the email?
Yeah.
And that she has secret internet. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
How'd she get that internet if nobody else...
How did no one notice the cable?
It came
Because
from
there's
that.
a cable going to a tree, obviously.
Yeah,
Come
it
on.
came from that same area that he could get phone reception.
Did she, climb up onto the telephone pole and, splice into something on her own?
Well, she's a librarian. She has reference for all that stuff.
Then somebody tries to kill them.
No, that was awesome, by the way. I just love the black hooded figure that swoops in.
Yeah.
I just love that.
Yeah, you actually laughed at this part. This is one of the
Yeah.
parts you genuinely laughed at.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
hilarious.
you actually laughed.
Yeah.
Because the guys were all freaking out, and then just this big old black hooded figure just kind of.
Caitlin, we gotta laugh.
Relieved. I'm relieved.
It was funny. I laughed at a couple things.
I think the thing that made me laugh the most was that old guy. But,
Yeah, I enjoyed the Labradoodle line too.
Oh yeah, that laugh.
Labradoodle where?
I think I'm with you, Matt. I think the only thing that I found legitimately funny that I thought was really clever was the old guy in the diner.
Yeah.
It almost makes me wish the whole episode was that over the head, because they're going at it in a way that's so fucking obvious. We're just every other second it's Twin Peaks this, Twin Peaks this, Twin Peaks this. If they just would have went ridiculous with it, I almost feel like the episode would have been a little better for it.
Brad, did it get you at all? Did you chuckle at all?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think there were some gentle smiles, maybe. But I don't think they quite got the yucks.
Oh.
But they're grins of acknowledgement.
Yes.
It's not legitimately entertaining. You're just oh, I understand that. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so...
Fair enough.
Yeah.
A lot of fair enoughs.
Yeah.
Right.
Enough TV show, fair enough.
Nice try.
All right.
I just want to see somebody actually watching a TV show, talking to it.
Well played.
Well played, television series. Well.
Oh, you've done it again. Mr. Matlock, how you've gotten them again.
All right, Caitlin.
shoot.
So who saved them?
Their good old friend, the father.
Well,
I don't remember his last name.
yeah, I was gonna say, what was his name? Is it a Twin Peaks reference at all?
I don't know.
Probably not.
In our house, his name is Leland fucking Palmer.
Yes.
Anytime he pops up, my wife's like, Jer, Leland fucking Palmer's on TV.
It's Father Wesley.
Father Wesley.
Okay. So then Bobby rolls up, and then they go to the obligatory cabin,
Right.
They learn about the history of the village.
and more convoluted things. Bobby is Paula's real father, and he had an affair with Shelley's sister Lucy. And then
That's even just as gross.
They helped. Lucy was crazy because of drugs, so they helped her daughter Paula fake her death, and then she got to live with her real dad in Dual Spires. Is that it?
I think so. Sounds right.
Okay. Oh,
Herein lies the problem.
Okay.
First of all, they say this was 12 years ago.
Okay.
She's presumably 18.
I think
So
they said
she was...
moved when she was 7. Isn't that right?
Okay, close enough.
Caitlin, isn't it? Did they say that? She was 7 when she moved, or do you not remember?
No, I don't remember.
Okay. Pretty sure on that point, but go ahead.
Okay, but so they faked a 7-year-old's death?
It's ridiculous, yeah.
You're her biological father. Like, I understand maybe you don't want to tell your wife that, but knowing that the mother's on drugs, still couldn't you do something to have the child, to take custody of the child? And since you are a biological father, you could just take the child and explain to the courts, hey, drug test this chick. There's no reason to fake a death.
It's way easier to fake a drowning death of a small child, Brad. Come on. It's not that big a deal.
I mean, it's pretty immoral to pretend to be a psychic and to prey on the problems of people. But I think it's worse to fake a 7-year-old's death.
Okay.
No, it's just as convoluted as everything we've seen before it.
At this point, Brad was watching his TV saying, not approve.
Inappropriate.
Inappropriate.
I give moral decisions on all of my television shows.
As well you should.
I can't wait for the X-Files podcast.
It's going to be enjoyable.
So this town turns up being even more twisted than even before. So there's like 3 founding families.
There's got to be a lot of inbreeding there.
Yes.
Sexy inbreeding.
So basically they kill outsiders who come inside. I'm pretty sure that's what they do.
So the real killers are Harold and Laura, the doctor and the sheriff. So they went the extra step that we always suspected and had the doctor actually be a killer.
I like it.
Yep.
Yeah. Last minute, as usual, they're saved.
How is that a usual thing, last minute?
Yeah, usually Sean goes into some sort of expose revealing the killer, and then someone saves his ass.
Again, I like that fake out. Their friends show up, and then Father Leland's like, miracles happen every day. Really? No, I called them before it came.
I also like that he's trying to get his way out of being killed.
Yeah.
Like, I get a special pass, right?
That was failed.
Really, Father? Yeah, that was pretty funny. Yeah, so that's wrapped up, and then we get the closing scene, which is just throw the entire kitchen sink in there. All the references that remain.
I think is my favorite part, because this is kind of the go nuts vibe that I think the show just should have gone with. You know?
Yeah.
Because it wasn't subtle, it wasn't clever, it was so on the head that the whole episode probably should have just went ahead and been like the last couple of minutes.
So, yeah, let's list what we got.
Jack doing the Audrey dancing, pretty much.
Yeah.
And he's dressed like the man from another place.
Yep, and he's got an eye patch.
Yep, eye patch. Why am I not remembering where the eye patch falls into place in Twin Peaks?
Nadine.
Oh, duh. Okay, never mind.
And there's like a giant with a really deep voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's in there.
3 pies, please.
I love it. At the very end, you see Bobby in the back dancing with the framed photo.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it's the very, very end.
I'll have to go look again because I don't think I caught that either.
Well, before that, he was dancing backwards, which is a thing that Bobby Banks would do.
Right.
Shelley was doing the Audrey dance. Or Lana, Shelley.
Randy was dancing like the midget. Yeah, right, okay.
Yeah.
No, Randy was barking.
Or that's what I meant.
Oh, yeah, staring out the window.
Jack was dancing. Okay.
Yeah.
And there's another completely random person in there. You see dressed in overalls doing like a really weird dance.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's ceramic figurines.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a display case.
Oh no.
Of course you would.
What's the agent's name? Or the policeman's?
Lassiter.
Yeah, he's doing the whole Coop thing.
So he was perfect, pretty much, for doing like the Cooper thing, because he kind of, well, I don't know, he kind of looks like a mixture of a bunch of actors all stuck together. Like he looks like Kyle MacLachlan, but mixed in with like a bit of Jimmy Stewart and Cary Grant. It's really weird. He's just got that weird face.
Is that character Cooper-esque normally?
No.
No. Okay, gotcha.
But I thought he fit in the Cooper role pretty well.
Yeah, he's not really at all like Cooper, because he's like really proud of his abilities as a detective, and he thinks he's better than everyone else and tries to solve crimes on his own, and really likes shooting his gun.
Alright, so that's the end of the episode. Oh, and there's a Julie Cruz song playing on the jukebox. Which,
right.
I like that song. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty good.
I like a lot of Julie Cruz. I actually got her first record. It's enjoyable.
I wonder if this is a song that she's done already, or if it's for this episode.
I'd have to look. I know she's got shit after that first album, but I never kept up with her.
Alright, yeah, so that's the episode.
And then there's the credits with the photo.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah. The very prom-esque looking photo, or like graduation photo type thing.
Oh.
We had credits with the bloopers or whatever.
Yeah, there's bloopers on our credits.
No, I saw that too. It's
Oh.
like kind of after the shot, but
Oh, okay.
What'd you guys think of this thing?
it was cute, I guess.
It was cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think maybe they knew that a lot of viewers were going to be Twin Peaks fans just watching this one episode, so they probably deliberately left out any prior or continuing story, because it really feels like a very self-contained story all by itself.
Yeah, the only thing I noticed was, it seemed like those two had just gotten in a relationship, but...
Yeah, no, they do that little secret kind of kiss when he's looking at the Labradoodle. Waka waka.
Yeah.
But other than that, they pretty much just go away from anything that furthers any larger story, which was probably smart on their part. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even so, I think the episode would definitely be more enjoyable for people had they seen a lot of Twin Peaks episodes before. I mean, Psych episodes, not Twin Peaks episodes.
Right,
before.
agreed, of course.
So what did you think of it, Caitlin? Now that you've seen Twin Peaks and you've gone back to this episode.
It was so much better knowing all the references. First time I saw it, all that was funny to me were just like the random funny parts that weren't necessarily Twin Peaks references. I don't think I got a single thing before.
Yeah, this would be miserable for someone to watch who was like a Psych fan but knew nothing of Twin Peaks, because like 90% of the episode, all the jokes are Twin Peaks related.
Alright, so did you guys write down ratings at all?
I got some quotes but no ratings. I can wing it though.
Okay. I also forgot to do a rating, so I just wrote one down as we were speaking. So it's going to have something to do with our conversation.
Perfect.
I thought this was a good episode. I wasn't blown away by this, but it's the only one I've ever seen. So I just enjoyed all the references, and I do hope they do a sequel, like another episode of Twin Peaks stuff, and get more actors.
If they do, I want to come back on this show for that.
All right. We'll have to pull this show out of obscurity like a few years from now. Yeah. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 rectal cinnamon owls.
Nice.
I'm going to give it 6.5 tender bicycles out of 10.
Cool.
I like it. I'll do the same thing. 6 out of 10. Secret lover earring. Wait, secret special lover earrings. There we go. I had to get that in order. I have to say, the first time we watched this, I fell asleep halfway through. But that's a habit of mine. I tend to fall asleep during stuff.
Do you drink a lot?
No, yes, all the time.
Gotcha.
The first step is admitting you have a problem.
5 out of 10 secret internet connections.
Sniped.
I know. It's
Did I
every
take it from
time.
somebody? I'm sorry.
I'll get this.
Go Brad.
I'm sorry, Brad.
Okay, 5.5 out of 10 cups of damn good cider.
Nice.
That's good.
Did anyone have quotes at all?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
I also have my notes for the FP that I'm recording with Tammy and Dan later, so I almost read you a quote from that, which wouldn't have made sense.
What are you recording later?
I'll watch that with Tammy and Dan.
Oh, I
We're
haven't
going to
heard
talk
of that.
about
What
the
is
movie
that?
The FP.
It's like an intro cast, but it's about movies. So it's a
I'll have to
different.
check it out.
Time.
Good
Yeah,
times.
Okay.
go to their Facebook group. They have a bunch of movies listed that you can sign up for one. They want to have one person who's seen the movie and one person who hasn't for each one.
Oh, that's a neat idea.
I just signed up for The Wizard.
Nice.
Oh, I actually
signed
saw
up-
that in the theater.
I signed up for the worst witch.
Awesome.
What's the name of the show?
I'll watch that with Tammy and Dan, or Dan and Tammy. We'll just send you the Facebook group link.
Oh, I found it.
Oh, you found it? Okay.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, here's my
Gotcha.
quote from this show. You know, we don't get a lot of gossip around here. So, untimely death, a psychic, and a black man all in one day? Epic.
I can go.
Okay, go ahead.
My first one is, hey, get your wood out of her face, Randy. I like that one a lot.
That's pretty good. I have one.
Okay.
The earth is soft and moist.
That was his only line.
I know, sad.
At some point, they should have sent him off to find something, and he should have came right back with it. That would have been a good joke. Like, he leaves the room, then he comes right back. The door just barely swings, and he comes right back with the information they need.
Yes.
The Legend of Billie Jean? I would have signed up for that in a fucking heartbeat, but it's already done and over with.
Yep.
Oh well, sorry.
Caitlin, you got one?
Hey, mister, are you Frederick Douglass?
Oh, I'm sorry, I stole that one earlier.
It's
Yep,
okay.
yep.
I need it repeated.
Yes. I like that's her only reference for a black man.
Yes.
I'm a woman of science and law and accounting, but that doesn't mean I don't feel.
See, my next one here is, I just gave him a super elbow and he crumbled like feta.
On
That one was so ridiculous, I had to listen to it a few times.
on the outside of the doctor's office, it says Dr. Donna Gooden, general practice, psychiatry, pediatrics, optometry, gastology, podiatry, dermatology, orthodontics, forensics, veterinary medicine, Esquire.
I like the Esquire touch.
Yeah. I like this line from Father Leland. The Village was a ridiculous film.
Those we do not speak of. Remember all that nonsense?
Yeah.
I liked what they told him when he saved them. Thank God you were here, literally.
Yeah.
I also like the line when they were in the library. These books are archaic and really old.
So Sean and Gus are looking in Paula's room, looking for places she may have hid stuff. Every teenager has a secret stop, Gus. Remember when I found those weird photos of John Cusack in your nightstand? That was Joan. Really? Oh, that's much less weird. Wait, no it's not. No, really.
I find Joan Cusack sort of attractive in a strange way.
I don't know. They look too much alike, I think. It's just weird.
I always get her and, who is it, Sean Young mixed up? Who's that lady?
Wow, I don't know why that happens.
I don't know. I haven't seen enough of them.
Probably not.
Like, I keep, like, Sean Young, I think, was in Ace Ventura, right?
Yeah, she was.
But I always picture Joan Cusack in that role for some reason.
Who was Sean Young in Ace Ventura?
She played
Was she
the
Finkel?
man-woman thing.
Oh, where
Yeah.
like she had the tucked dick that
Yes.
was on the back.
Yes.
Oh yeah. That was Sean Young?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now you can see it.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense, Matt. I'm with you.
If it's the only thing you've seen her in, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's get to some feedback. Caitlin, here's a long one. Can you do it?
Sure.
You're good at that.
Okey-doke.
Oh, this one isn't Dual Spire specific, but the rest of them are.
Hey guys, I just discovered your podcast a few days ago when I was Googling for people who are still discussing Twin Peaks. It not only made me happy that the show still exists in the public form, but also to find out that I wasn't the only person who cultivated a Gordon Cole impression. Twin Peaks marked the most important TV experience in my life. I was just 11 when the show premiered, and I had to go to bed at 10 p.m. But when I saw Laura's body in plastic, my pupils dilated, and I pleaded with my mom, "Can I stay up and watch this?" And she let me watch it. That was the first time I was allowed to stay up till midnight, and am ever since a night owl. Needless to say, for years I was afraid to look out my window at night in fear of seeing Bob there.
Yeah.
Just a disturbing note, Twin Peaks wasn't my first encounter with David Lynch. Since my 5 years older sister was a film buff, she was watching Lynch films while I was just a kid, and I cannot express enough that you shouldn't let your kids watch Elephant Man in 4th grade.
Wow.
Oh my goodness, no.
That's about when I watched Eraserhead.
Oh, you've seen Eraserhead?
Yeah,
Just once in the 4th grade?
just once.
And that was enough, bro.
Did it make a lasting impression?
It did.
That's much worse than Elephant Man.
Much more
I love Eraserhead, but I wouldn't have if I had seen it that young.
It was creepy.
Yeah, I saw it for the first time probably about 15 years ago. So
I I'm a writer-director from Croatia, and I'm working on my master's thesis on the evolution of TV shows in the last 30 years. I decided to rewatch Twin Peaks because it always held a sacred place in my heart as the greatest show ever, and as a film student, I firmly believe that the TP pilot was the moment that cinema and TV blended, and it made the ground fertile for such cinematic shows as The Wire, Carnival, Breaking Bad, and all the great TV we enjoy today. In my opinion, American TV today, mostly cable, offers superior ratings, stories, and characters than American movies.
A lot of it does, yeah.
Rewatching Twin Peaks was a bittersweet experience. Mostly sweet, since the pilot and the first season were as great as I remembered. The second season left me torn. As much as I emotionally attached to the material, my mind still separated the great moments and ideas from the plethora of missed opportunities and unneeded storylines and characters. Firstly, I was surprised that most of my memories of the show stopped at the moment Leland dies. From the rest of the second season, I remembered Ben Horn's Civil War, I can never say his last name whenever I see it like written.
Duchovny?
I know. Just the spelling, sometimes I want to say things very literally. Anyways.
I know.
Duchovny's drag race and parts of the finale. The drug trafficking, Wyndham Earl, and the Lodge mythology was lost in my mind. Watching it again, I feel the whole material should have and could have been handled and developed much better. I actually felt the desire, after watching Leland die, to recut the first part of the second season into just a few episodes and erase all the Donna James, Nadine, and Jean Reno stories. As for Wyndham Earl, I couldn't stop feeling I was watching a mix of Riddler and Joker from the old Batman show. And when I imagined how great it could have been if Earl was a truly menacing character played by Michael Parks, wishful thinking. As for the rest of the season, apart from the agonizing James storyline, I felt irritated by the constant resurrections in the Martell-Packard family and the absurd twist in Josie's story. I love the fact that Catherine was alive, as she's clearly the alpha bitch of Twin Peaks, but the rest just felt like a bad soap with a witty surprise ending. The Josie story was such a disappointment to me because I expected much more from a character who opened the whole show.
Agreed.
But don't read this as if I hate the show. I still love it and plan to revisit it again in the future. Just the idea that the finale was shown on a network in prime time is mesmerizing. Such a mindfuck for the audience of soccer moms and Joe Six-Packs.
Totally.
When I recall that Twin Peaks was a massive hit in my country during a war, and while all the men were out fighting, the women and children were all watching Twin Peaks. I can just imagine the looks on their faces during that finale. Thank you for making this podcast and trying to figure out mysteries even Lynch and Frost didn't have all the answers to. The ending delights as much as it frustrates. Just like in Carnival, it just leaves you wanting more. But there is no more, only in our imaginations. I give you 12 sycamore trees out of 12. Sweet. Cheers.
Oh, yeah!
Thanks. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned who that was from. That was from Josip? Josip
Vucic? Maybe?
Vucic?
I don't know.
I think
I don't
so.
know if we're pronouncing that right. Sorry for butchering your name, Josip.
Jim Smith. That's Thanks, Jim Smith.
Thank you. So, I will read one from Ghosty. I can't remember where I read about the Twin Peaks tribute episode Dual Spires on Psych prior to it airing, but once it had been announced, the online hype over this episode among Twin Peaks fans began to snowball, and I have to confess I was completely wrapped up in it. After all, there literally hadn't been anything Peaks related on TV since the early 90s. Having never seen Psych, I didn't know what to expect. For starters, I had no idea Psych was a comedy. Based on this episode, Psych strikes me as another self-aware comedy packed with pop culture references. In other words, like a lot of TV these days. That said, I think calling this episode a tribute is accurate. While it never really evokes the spirit of Twin Peaks, it also never really spoofs the elements of Twin Peaks that were ripe for spoofing, with one exception. It's more like a comedy based around allusions to characters and events from the show, with random Peaks actors plugged into it. That's not a bad thing, as I imagine it's probably more in keeping with the overall tone of Psych itself. I think we can all agree that Sherilyn Fenn steals the show here, and damn, she still is fine. Of all the Peaks actors involved, her character
Hits.
Her character and hits.
There's an extra word in there. Her character hits the right notes. The scene where Dana Ashbrook weeps over the body of Paula Merrill. Did we mention that's an anagram of Laura Palmer?
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
No, but it is, yeah.
Yes.
Good call, Matt.
Yeah. While a variation on Laura Palmer's theme plays underneath the scene was probably the closest the episode came to full-on spoof and was very funny. Would I watch Psych again? Probably not. I felt like I've seen this kind of series a million times, but I'm grateful to the show's creators for attempting this tribute. I also got a big kick reading confused postings from Psych viewers on message boards who seemed to have no clue what Twin Peaks was. Some of them even went the extra mile and rented Twin Peaks from Netflix, and then later posted about how much they were enjoying it.
Cool.
That's good. That's probably the goal here
Definitely.
for James Roday, who wrote it. If that's what a tribute is supposed to do, then I can only call Dual Spires a qualified success. And they get extra points for not calling in Lara Flynn Boyle to screw it up.
Seriously.
Just kidding. Lara, like Lara Flynn Boyle, actually listens to the Twin Peaks podcast. Oh, wait. Holy crap. What if she does? Screw it.
She doesn't, but I bet Maura Kelly does.
Alright, so here's one from Ted Rogers. You want to get this one, Mel?
Sure. Dear Twin Peaks podcast, sorry if this gets to you late.
Right on time.
But I've only managed to just watch the Dual Spires episode, and I know that you're recording today. I'm hoping that because we are 5 hours in front of the East Coast that I might just sneak in. Well, I literally have just finished the show, so it's all very fresh. I kind of tried taking notes, but there are so many references that I gave up in the end. You're not the only one. I thought they did a really good job, and for a total fan, it was just really, really cool. They got the feel and tone just right. The soundtrack was spot on. I guess it helps if Julie Cruz gets involved. But there was only one other music, which was
No.
Wait, what? Wait, Matt! He always did this. He just skipped over the whole bunches.
You remember it.
No! Where were you? The soundtrack was spot on. I guess it helps if Julie Cruz gets involved. But there was other music which was very Badalamenti-esque. Like the theme for Sherilyn Fenn's character. So cool. Was particularly fond of a few references, which I'll just list, I think. The lady from Washington who invents silent shade openers in the early 90s. Bobby Briggs telling the guys when they first meet him, "You can call me Bob." Leo, the Cinnamon Owl Festival mascot. Cheryl Lee's character unwrapping the dead body on the shoreline. That's just mind-bending, I'm afraid. The white horse at the end of the titles. Hey, what's with that? We were 10 minutes in before we get the opening credit sequence? Weird. That was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they usually wait that long, Caitlin?
Yeah, sometimes they do.
Interesting.
Caitlin's picture changed.
I was wondering if you guys would notice. I was gonna see if I was considering doing like a series of faces, just to, anyways. Continue.
It was just funny how it changed really quick.
I was looking.
All I see is a giant question mark.
Aw, not friends.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna mention it.
I'm crying a little inside.
That's not the first time. Okay. Deputy Frost. Just loved it as he took the two grieving parents away on the rickshaw with their little grieving heads bobbing up and down as they went. That made me laugh. I also enjoyed the rickshaw hearse. Did we mention that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The body way in the rickshaw too.
Yeah, that was great. The shot of the stairs with the ceiling fan, quite awesome. Jessup! That's the old guy.
Yeah.
Oh, and I don't know where to start with the ending. It had just so much in there. From the guy in the red suit to Lana trying to do Audrey's dance, etc. I kinda need to watch that sequence again to get it all. Well, short and sweet, that's about all, folks. I, for one, as a huge fan of the show when it first aired, through watching it again and listening to your most excellent podcasts, we give the Dual Spires episode an 8 out of 10 Labradoodles. Aww,
I'm surprised nobody stole that.
Labradoodles. I thought about it. I was worried that because I didn't know Psych, that it might leave me confused. I needn't have worried. I think that if you're a fan of Twin Peaks, it's a no-brainer. It's chock full of references and nods. It's a grin fest and I loved it. Thanks again, Peakers, for your podcasts. They have been highly entertaining and a joy to listen to. You should feel very proud of yourselves. You have made lots of TP fans fall in love with that world all over again. You're the best. Aw, thanks.
My heart swells.
Till next time.
Guess I'm having a heart attack.
Till next time, Ted Rogers. Thanks, Ted.
Thank you.
That was a nice email.
It was.
You notice he says grin fest, not laugh fest.
Yeah. Gentle smile fest.
Oh, hey, it looks like you're off the hook for reading. It looks like Claire sent us audio.
Ooh.
Oh, snap!
Oh, snap.
Awesome.
Alright, so let's turn my microphone around and point it at my speaker.
Because that's how you do things
That's how I
around
do
here.
it.
Right.
High tech.
Hello, Twin Peaky Peeps. It's me, Claire, and I'm not sending an email this time. I'm sending a voicemail because I know that you can't get enough of my articulate, dulcet English tones. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah. Getting feedback in by the skin of my teeth again this time for the Psych episode, Jules Spires. This is a bit of a weird one to kind of rate because I don't watch Psych, so I sort of have only ever seen this episode, and it's sort of hard to rate compared to the rest of the series, not having seen it. But I wanted to say some of the things I liked. I did really enjoy the episode. I've seen it a couple of times. I saw it at the Twin Peaks UK Festival again last year. So I've made sort of some bullet points. I'm going to go through stuff I liked. I love all there's sort of obviously a ton of references to Twin Peaks in the episode, but the ones I really like are the sort of more obscure little ones, like the mayor being called Douglas Fir, and they talk about the sawmill being burnt down, and the chocolate bunny on the desk at the start. Oh, I love that so much. And the silent drapes and all that stuff. What else? I think it was a really nice sort of love letter to Twin Peaks. I know the guy that kind of stars as Sean in the show, and I think he co-writes the series. He's a massive fan. You could really see that he loved the show, and I bet he was just fanboying out being with so many of the cast members. Speaking of which, Dana Ashbrook is, I have to say, a bit of a silver fox these days. I like that his character's called Bob.
I'm not alone.
The episode at first, I really thought he was the killer just because he had the white hair like Leland, and he was called Bob, but no. And also he was a bit creepy. What else? I wish there was more of the log lady. We only saw her for like one scene. I wish there was more of her because, it's the log lady. Sorry Psych, but I would much rather have cherry pie and coffee than cider and cinnamon pie. Ugh. I don't like cinnamon at all. The sight of that cinnamon ale made me hyperventilate a bit. There was just too much cinnamon going on there. I really don't like it. It's gross. I like that they had the sort of FBI agent character. I don't know his name, but he was very Cooper-like, just the way he behaved, so that was cool. But my favourite line in the episode was when the kind of Bobby Jock character was talking about Paula's friend, Jack, I think, and he said something like, I super elbowed him and he crumbled like feta. I love that line. That's my quote. Love it. I love that they sort of took the mickey of the film The Village as well, because the setup for this episode was quite like The Village, and they sort of said how awful it was, which is absolutely correct. What else? I should say this watching only this episode, it did make me want to watch more of Psych, so I probably will at some point. And I really love the guy who played Gus. Oh, he's so adorable. So I would like to see more of him as well. What else? So I can't really think of anything else. Oh, the last scene of the episode is amazing with all the references, with like Jack dressed in the red outfit, and in the background Dana Ashbrook's like spinning like Leyland with the photo, like Leland did.
She got it.
And just everything, the giant and the guy barking and the Audrey dance in the background. It was just amazing. So yeah, I mean, I don't really know how to rate it, because it's like, do I compare it to Twin Peaks in general or Psych or whatever? So I'm going to kind of give it right in the middle and say 5 monkey breads out of 10. Yeah. Anyway, still loving the show, and I'll speak to you guys soon. Bye.
Thanks, Claire.
Yeah, thanks. We always enjoy hearing your English accent.
Yes.
Yeah, her voice totally gives me an erection.
I like how her accent causes her to say duel as Jewel.
Jewel?
Oh.
Spires.
I could listen to Claire read a fucking cookbook. I don't even care.
That should be her podcast.
There you go.
No, Claire reads recipe cards.
There you go. Get all around.
Claire versus the card catalog.
Alright, so that's the end of the feedback and the end of our show. So, Jeromy, do you have something to plug?
always. My regular show is Tuesday Night Hootenanny, and you can find that at TuesdayNightHoot.com. You should listen to it.
What goes on there?
Shenanigans.
Is it just like anything, kind of like Ramsack?
Basically, yeah. We do. We try different whiskey every week.
Oh, that's fun.
We're music. We have a lot of guests on. We're big into music, specifically punk rock. But we've had a lot of great episodes where people that are famous in the world of punk rock have come on and done interviews with us. We've had Joe Queer and Dan Babbitt and Kim Warnick, and we try to go back and forth every episode where we have a different guest. We'll do a little bit of interview and then do kind of a normal show. But if you're a music fan, if you're a nerd, if you're an old punk rocker, you'll love our show. So TuesdayNightHoot.com.
Cool. Brad?
You guys can catch me on the Ramjack podcast, where we have fun and shenanigans, and we've just celebrated our 100th episode.
Hooray!
It was a terrifying ordeal.
Congrats.
Yes,
Yay.
congrats.
And Matt just won our contest, by the way, too.
Yay!
Yeah.
I will be the future emperor.
That's kind of scary, guys.
Basically, he was just really cruel and threw a lot of people under the bus, and that's what we appreciate, so...
I need some backstory. What kind of contest was this?
It's lonely at the top, Brad. All my friends hate me now.
As they should.
Yes.
You want to explain the contest to Jeremy?
Well, we just had a contest because we were creating our will to decide who we should leave our empire to once we die.
That sounds fun. Okay.
Yeah. So Matt, through pure cruelty and just saying horrible things about his friends, he won.
I'm gonna have to go listen to that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
Fun times.
Did you leave your empire to Mel?
No.
I'm the queen.
If she wants the empire, she's gonna have to commit regicide.
Oh yeah. Well, I am your queen, so I kind of.
Yeah.
I kind of
Gotcha.
I kind of co-rule here, Matt.
Yeah, but you did nothing.
So.
I'm the one. I'm the one.
So you didn't do much either. You just threw people under the bus.
I'm the one crushing people under buses.
Oh, okay. Yes.
I'm dead, so really it's between you guys to work that out.
We'll see.
All right, so next time, well, this is the last. It probably won't be the last time we mention Twin Peaks, but it's the last time we're going to review something that's Twin Peaks related.
So everybody, if you're
goodbye,
need to
Twin
mourn,
Peaks.
Do it now. Cry. Wail. Gnash your teeth.
Yes.
Tear your hair out.
Tear your clothes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll put a very sad song at the end too as a send off.
What? Good Riddance by Green Day.
No.
That seems to be the go-to ending song for everything.
I know. That's why you shouldn't use it.
I thought it was Time of Your Life or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, same song.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
same
same
song.
song.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The parentheses.
There's no way I'll do that.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Everybody appreciates it.
All right. So next time we're going to be reviewing Blue Velvet.
Yay.
Awesome.
Brad, you can finally unwrap that DVD or Blu-ray or whatever it is.
No, the Blu-ray's been sitting on the shelf since December.
Oh my god. You've been very patient.
I think it's not David Lynch's first film, but I think it's a good introduction to Lynch. Well,
It's the
actually,
first one we watched.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might be my favorite of his.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites, yeah. Although I heard good things about Mulholland Drive, which I haven't seen yet.
It's excellent.
Yeah. All right, so we'll see everyone next time. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Farewell.
Thanks for listening. Check us out on twitter.com/TwinPeaksCast. Search for the Twin Peaks Podcast group on Facebook. And visit us on twinpeakspodcast.blogspot.com. Email your feedback to twinpeakspodcast@gmail.com.
Here's a tune for you guys. Okay. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.